We have indeed. It's a little Shasha. We found him eventually. I knew it was him. He's just lying in a little thicket. Gave us a bit of a runaround, didn't he? But I'm glad that we managed to find him in the end. He's been all over the place. That little yawn might indicate that he gets up. I'm not going to move too much right now, just because one I wanted to show you is how difficult it can be to spot these guys. If he puts his head down flat, like now, if he goes behind that bush, it's just disappears completely. So they're not always the easiest cats to find. And I must be honest, finding him where he's sitting right now is a bit of a bittersweet kind of moment, because this is the exact spot where we last saw Shongile. This is where Tandia and Hosanna and Shongile fought, right where I'm parked right now. We were parked on the other side where Shasha is, and it's kind of a reverse role, but it's exactly this spot where they fought, like literally where I'm parked, is where they were. So it's always a bit bittersweet seeing a young male leopard, because that day Shongile was actually with Hosanna. He was like a little pixie, little pointy ears for a leopard compared to most. And he's got, just like his mom, very, very small, tightly compacted rosettes. They are not big rosettes like you see on Tavangumi. These are very, very tightly packed together and very, very small. It almost makes him... what have you seen, boy? I think we're in for an epic afternoon with him. He looks like he's in this playful mood that he just wants to chase things. If you look at how he's standing there, that's the stance of a leopard that is wanting to be busy. And I can't tell you how nice it is to see a leopard close to camp again. It's kind of been so long since we've been having that kind of thing, so it would be nice to have a young male leopard again around our camp. You know, we got so spoilt with Hosanna, and we were trying to, at the time, remind everybody how, you know, unusual it is to have that kind of level of leopard consistency at the time. And I think now it's starting to show, and people are starting to understand just how spoilt we were at that period. So it'll be really cool if Shasha decides to kind of stick around a little bit around the camps, but with the weather and the rain and all that that's coming, I don't know if that's going to be completely possible. Yeah. Let's see where he goes. Unfortunately, there's a few areas here that are going to be a bit tricky to negotiate. Shouldn't be too bad. There's a couple little pathways that I know of that we can get ourselves through from the old Hosanna days. In fact, what we're on right now is an old Tingana Hosanna path, little 2-track. So I'm pretty sure we'll be able to follow him. Just want to see which way he's going to go. He should come straight across the road in front of us. I mean, look at that camouflage. Even at this distance, you know, we're not even 15 meters away. And this is how obscured he can be. Just goes to show how difficult they can sometimes be to find. Oh, and we're going to get a bit of sunshine even, Mbo. Can you imagine that? Hello, boy. He's looking well, though, isn't he? He looks healthy and tails like full and curl them up. That's so cool. I love how that tail has a mind of its own when they're watching into a drainage line. They always, like, there's so much going in there through their minds. I mean, he's not empty though. You can see he's in really good condition. He's been obviously feeding quite well. Little Shasha. Alright, Simple, I'm just going to go forward a little bit so we can hopefully see his face a little bit more than just his bum, because we've been kind of doing his bottom most of this. We'll just park here so that if he wants to go down the road, we're not in his way. You'll notice that a lot of the time with him now, I'm not really trying to get in front of him too much. There's a purpose, well, there's a reason for that, is that I don't want to disturb anything that he potentially could be hunting. So it's much easier to stay behind him in this situation. While it's not great always for visuals, it just means we're not going to ruin any things that are trying to move around where he is or where he's trying to move towards. So just always try and stay kind of behind him or parallel to him. That way, if there is something ahead, we can spot it and not disrupt the process.
I'm moving out from 31.
Hello, beautiful boy. Little nick in his right ear is another way you can identify him. For those of you that are not too sure on ways of picking up who Shasha is or why it's Shasha, so the small rosettes is one thing, the little nick in the right ear, and then he's got these little pointy ears as well in comparison to all the other leopards. He's got quite a distinctive look, does little Shasha. A very pink nose, like his mom. Hello, boy. So that's why we didn't park on the road, so that we could let him go down. Are you going to sit on the road right there? And boy, we're going to try just do something here quickly, because I think it'll be really nice if we can get round. Sorry, my boy. I know you're going to pick us up. That was going to be so nice. He was much lower than, we were much lower than him. It was going to be perfect to see him. Anyway. It's like he waited for us to get round, and then he was like, okay, now that you're here, I'm going to go again. Let's see, he might come back. If he comes back, then I'll just roll backwards, and you can come down the road. Michael, you're right. That is not untrue. It is enjoyable to see him, but he is a potential threat in the end to Tlalamba and her kind of position within this area. So, well, especially if she has cubs, that's not ideal. Although I think he's still on the young side. I think she would dominate him quite a lot. If he kind of came around, I think she would have enough power and enough presence and enough attitude to push him off. But it's, if he comes across cubs when she's not around, that's when it becomes obviously quite dangerous. But yeah, let's see. We don't even know where Tlalamba is hanging out even, and what, if she has cubs or anything like that at this stage. So we'll see how it goes.